Conor McGregor's highly awaited return to the UFC ended in the most anticlimactic fashion as he injured his right knee. As soon as the fight started, he throws a jumping switch kick, lands on that right knee, it buckles under him, and he can't continue. The referee has to call the fight off. And I am so infuriated and disappointed with this. The UFC and Conor McGregor got all the fans emotionally invested. The Mac is back, the return of Mystic Mac. I so feel for the people who bought tickets for thousands of dollars to watch one of the biggest events in UFC history, and it ends like this. And you know what? Rarely do I say things like this. I have been a UFC fan for over 11 years now. I have seen shitty fight results happen again and again, whether it's Aspinall versus Gunn, Yan versus Aljo 1. I have seen this shit go down so many times, and rarely am I ever like, this the UFC fooled us. They took us for a ride. They sold us something that wasn't real. And I think the people who actually bought tickets for this event should call for an investigation into whether the UFC already knew that McGregor was injured and he wasn't ready for a fight. The guy was coming back after 5 years, had that horrific knee injury when he fought Poirier. He was selling alcohol, doing God knows what, involved in so many legal cases. Not that he was training hard for his return. And the UFC, I have a feeling they knew that this was not going to go well for McGregor. They knew that he wasn't physically prepped for this fight. I mean, we had heard rumors in the past that Dana White had actually gone down to Dublin. He saw McGregor training. He was like, this motherfucker ain't ready for no fight. And they had to get this done because I have a feeling that they told Paramount that they will get a McGregor fight done within the first half of the first year of their deal. And they got it done, but in the at the end of the day, I feel like the UFC for the short term at least have lost a lot of credibility. Conor McGregor is done. He's never gonna come back. I don't think they can ever sell out an arena, at least outside Ireland, with Conor McGregor in it. And no one's gonna buy that shit because they know he's faking it. They know he's not convinced in his own self that he can ever return and have a decent performance in the octagon. Not even against a mid-tier opponent. Forget Max. I have a feeling that if the fight continued, Max would brutally KO him. And a part of me wants, not a part of me, all of me wants that. I wish Max Holloway had just brutally KO'd Conor. At least that would be something. You can't say McGregor didn't try. You can't say they sold us something which wasn't real. Yeah, he went out there, got KO'd. That's no big fucking deal. But to end the fight with that kind of an injury, which looked like, how many times do you see fighters with their knees buckle under them? They gotta get a limp, but they continue. Look at Cory Sandhagen. We'll come to that fight later, but Cory Sandhagen injures his knee in the closing moments of the first round against Mario Bautista, comes back and has a great performance in the second round, wins the second round. So what the fuck? If Conor McGregor can't perform at that level, why the fuck are you putting him in this big of an event when he is not even at an amateur level at this point? The UFC brass, the people in charge of putting this fight together should be ashamed of themselves. They knew McGregor wasn't ready. They sold something to the audience which wasn't real. They they fooled the audience. They took us for a ride, and we'll know better moving forward that the UFC does not give a shit. McGregor doesn't give a shit. The guy and the UFC, they should be fucking ashamed of themselves. They knew this guy wasn't ready, and they sold all these tickets. They sold out the arena. Dana White is there like, oh, this is the biggest gate we have ever done, some 20 fucking million dollars. And this is the shit we get. It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. And this does nothing for Max too. What does Max get out of it? He made a shit ton of money, probably. I mean, millions and millions of dollars. But this doesn't move him forward in the UFC in any which way. And the UFC better not try and ever market a McGregor return ever again. I think there should be a mass boycott of the UFC if they ever try and market a McGregor return again, and that's all I have to say. Fuck the UFC for getting us emotionally invested in this return. And it's not that I was expecting some fucking virtuoso like performance. No, not at all. But the least I would like to see is a one round fight where McGregor and Max are both exchanging back and forth. And if McGregor gets KO'd, he gets KO'd. Big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. But come on. Do better, UFC. You're this big $1 billion company. You made your company this big of an entity through the passion and the support of the fans, and this is what you present. It's absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And that's all I want to say about this fight. Trash. Pure trash. McGregor's pure trash. The UFC's pure trash. And this is bullshit. It's just bullshit. Paddy Pimblett has a great performance against Benoît. He was the real main event of this fight card. What a performance by Paddy Pimblett. Benoît Sandhagen does what he always does, throws that left kick and then dives straight in for a takedown with his head outside. And Paddy was so well prepared for that. As soon as Benoît Sandhagen shot in with that head in the arm takedown, Paddy Pimblett cinched up that Darce choke and choked him out. Great performance by Paddy Pimblett. The Topuria matchup has to be next, right? I feel like they're on a similar schedule. Paddy took no damage in this fight. He could be back in training within a week or two. He should get some time to actually celebrate this win. Eat some good food, rest his body. I'm sure he had a hell of a fight camp coming off that loss to Justin Gagey. Took a bunch of damage in the beginning of the year, so maybe in December, Paddy versus Ilya. Fight Night UK, why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? It's gonna be crazy. Let's see where Arman Sarukian fits into all this. Maybe Arman versus Charles. Arman versus Charles. And then we'll see where the chips line up. Maybe they do Max versus Justin next for the world title fight. We'll see what happens. Arman versus Max at 155 could also be a good match. We'll see. We'll see. But amazing performance by Paddy Pimblett. Mario Bautista defeats Cory Sandhagen by unanimous decision 29-28. The first round was very close. I think Cody Sandhagen landed the better shots on Mario Bautista, the harder shots. I feel like he looked a bit physically bigger for this fight too. And Mario Bautista at the end of the first round went for a Suloev stretch. They ended up on the ground when Mario Bautista went for a takedown. A bit of scrambling happened. I think Mario Bautista went for a Suloev stretch, which hyperextended Cory Sandhagen's knee and blew it out. And this is what I'm talking about. Cory Sandhagen is a serious fighter looking to make it back to the title shot. And will he get it? Probably not. But he knows that there are people who've paid their hard earned money to watch him fight, to be entertained. And that's what he goes there and does. Has a great fight, has a great performance against a really tough opponent like Mario Bautista. But anyhow, I digress. Cory Sandhagen goes back to his corner limping, comes out and has a fantastic performance in the second round, pieces up Mario Bautista in the second round, catches him with some amazing punches. Mario gets his own shots into, but can't get a takedown, can't get that sustained offense against Cory Sandhagen, and Cory picks up the win in the second round. In the third round, Mario Bautista pretty much gets a takedown immediately into the third round, keeps Cory Sandhagen there for most of the third round and picks up this win. Great performance by Mario Bautista. We'll see what they do with him next. He's in a weird spot because he's already lost to Umar, and Umar and Song Yedong are already lined up to fight in August. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I will see what happens. We'll see what they do with Mario. But he's in a great spot. Like, unfortunately, he can't fight Sean O'Malley because they're training partners and very long time friends. So that fight's not going to happen. Otherwise, Mario versus Sean O'Malley would be the fight to make. But we'll see what happens. But Great performance by Mario Bautista. He's turning into one of the best fighters in the bantamweight division. This fight is not as good of a performance as I expected from him coming off that win over Vinicius Oliveira, but here win Cory Sandhagen was looking good in this fight. Cory Sandhagen had a good performance against Marab as well, so he's no joke. He's great. So we'll see what happens. Brandon Royval versus Lona Kavanagh. Brandon Royval is probably my favorite fighter to watch in the UFC at the moment. Man, what a performance by him. Has a good round in the first round, has a tough second round, gets dropped by Lona Kavanagh. But in the third round, he comes back, gets a takedown, gets the back of Lona Kavanagh and chokes him out. The jab, the pressure, the kicks, mixing his takedowns in this fight as well. Lona Kavanagh was looking good with the counters. Didn't throw that many leg kicks, which is surprising, but yeah, what a performance by Brandon Royval. I think the only thing which is a little bit lacking in Brandon Royval's game is he doesn't really have any punching power, but maybe he can work on that a little bit. We'll see what happens. But Brandon Royval called out Asu Almubayev in his post fight interview. Book it, UFC. Love watching Brandon Royval fight. Showed off some great jiu-jitsu in this game. And yeah, probably one of the most dangerous and best fighters in the flyweight division right now. Who wouldn't want to see Royval versus Van 2 in a 5 round fight? And I would give Royval a pretty good chance of beating Joshua Van in a 5 round fight because that pressure and cardio is fucking insane. King Green versus Terrance McKinney. Wow, great performance by King Green. He pretty much won 25 seconds of the fight and he won the fight. Terrance McKinney comes out hot, gets the takedown, gets the back of King Green, but tries to cinch in the rear naked choke, can't get in. King Green does an amazing job of defending, rolling in the right places so that Terrance can't get that choke in. Terrance is a good grappler. And as soon as they get up, King Green lands a body shot. Terrance McKinney kind of falls to the ground, and a few ground and pound shots is all that's needed to get Terrance McKinney out of there. Great performance by King Green. That's 4 in a row, 3 finishes, I feel, and maybe a Dan Hooker matchup next for King Green. Great performance by him. Almost 40, still putting away these young and hungry prospects. And Terrance McKinney is such an idiot. I mean, he's such a buffoon. Robert Whittaker defeats Nikita Krylov. Masterclass performance by Robert Whittaker. Pieces up Nikita Krylov. His understanding of range was on point in this fight. There were so many times when you thought Robert Whittaker was kind of just slightly out of range of Nikita Krylov. But when he threw that right hand, he caught Nikita Krylov right at the end of his punches. Great movement, was looking strong as well. Nikita Krylov wasn't able to bully him down to the ground in the first round. He tried, but he couldn't get it. And standing on the feet, Robert Whittaker's punching was just much better. Great combinations, good kicks, and he was just a way more skilled fighter than Nikita Krylov, and that's what it came down to. Great performance by Robert Whittaker. We'll see what's next for him. Maybe a Yuri matchup. Yeah, Yuri would be good. Gable Steveson defeats Elisha Elison. Great front kicks to the body by Gable Steveson. Elisha Ellison was looking dangerous in this fight, but when Gable Steveson started landing those kicks, that was too much for Elisha to take. Still a long way to go for Gable Steveson. Skill wise, don't put him there against a ranked opponent just yet. Give him a bunch of cans to beat, I think. Let him build up that boxing. Let him build up how to grapple inside the octagon and getting takedowns in the octagon and getting takedowns in a wrestling match are two completely different skills. And Elisha Ellison did stuff a takedown by Gable Steveson, so it's all right. I mean, he looked good, but not top level. But at the end of the day, he needed this win to get his foot in the door, build up a little bit of confidence, and that's what he did here. So good for him. Adrian Yanez defeats Cody Garbrandt by knockout. And not much to say here. The first clean shot he landed on Cody Garbrandt's chin put him out cold. Cody Garbrandt should retire. He's looked like shit in almost all his last few fights against Harney Barcelo, Xiaolong. Whoever he's faced, he looked like absolute trash. So get Cody Garbrandt out of the UFC. Hurts to say because he was a bit of a fan favorite, but he's done. He's done for good. Luke Riley defeats Sky Kamaka the third. Great performance by Luke Riley. He was getting a little bit pieced up by those leg kicks by Kai Kamaka the third, but his boxing is great. His own kicking game is on point. He's 27 years old, just on 27. So a lot of scope for development for Luke Riley. A bit of an early stoppage, but that fight was trending towards a win for Luke Riley. Lands a great right hand straight on Kai Kamaka's chin. Kai Kamaka kind of covers up and a few follow up shots, a few knees to the body, and that's all it takes to get this dub for Luke Riley. 3-0 in the UFC, 14-0 in his career. One of the most exciting prospects at featherweight. Maybe a number 15 ranked opponent next for him. Luke Riley versus Melky Costa wouldn't be a bad matchup in the rankings, but I don't think they'll give him a ranked opponent just yet because he's just 27 years old. Let's build him up a bit and then put him in the rankings because in the featherweight rankings, once you're in, there are no easy matchups out there. It's going to be really hard for him. So give him some time for development. Big stuff for Paddy Pimblett's team. They have some momentum, and we could see a world champion from there pretty soon. Wang Cong defeats Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez is not a serious fighter, and yeah, that's about it. Damian Pinas defeats Cesar Almeida by TKO. This was not as easy for Damian Pinas as we've seen in earlier fights. Cesar Almeida did get a takedown briefly, but couldn't keep Pinas down. Pinas then got up, landed a great punch, and knocked Cesar Almeida out by TKO. Cesar Almeida is a better competition than he has fought earlier in his career. I think he fought Wes Schultz, who the UFC's basically kept around to basically get KO'd by these up and coming prospects. Great win for Pinas. I think he called out Baisengur Susukayev in his post fight interview and make the fight UFC. Make Baisengur Susukayev versus Damian Pinas November, December. Yeah, book it. Farid Bashrat defeats John Garza. I mean, a win is a win, right? But not a great performance by Farid Bashrat against a guy who's coming up on a few days' notice to take on a guy who's nearly ranked in the bantamweight division of the UFC. And John Garza looked good in this fight, but Farid Bashrat got some timely takedowns against John and won this fight. Farid Bashrat's striking looked good as well. He won this fight after all. John Garza looked good in the boxing too. Landed some good body shots on Farid Bashrat. But at the end of the day, Farid's timely takedowns definitely won him this fight. And yeah, not much to say, dude. Farid Bashrat wins fights, but he does it in a pretty unimpressive fashion, and which is why he's not really getting the big opportunities that he maybe deserves. But we'll see if the UFC renew his contract or not. They cut his brother coming off a win, so maybe the same could happen to him. I believe this is the last fight of his UFC contract. So we'll see how it goes. Ryan Gandra defeated Zachary Reese by TKO, and Zachary Reese is kind of a timid fighter in there nowadays. I think he has been KO'd a few times. Once by Azamat Bikoyev, got that slam knockout by Cody Brundage. So he's a bit timid of being knocked out. And Ryan Gandra just marched forward and TKO'd him. And he looks like a very big, imposing figure in the as a person. Zachary Reese does, but when he gets in the cage, it's far from that. Alessandro Costa defeats Cody Durden. Cody Durden is probably going to get cut. Alessandro Costa's on a great three-fight win streak now. Stuart Nickel, Max Schnell, and now Cody Durden. So probably a good ranked opponent for Alessandro Costa next. Maybe he could fight the winner of Sumo Duerji versus Alex Perez, or we'll see what they do with him. Maybe a number 12, 13 ranked fighter in the flyweight division. Maybe a Charles Johnson matchup could be next for him as well. Maybe the winner of Ramzan Temirov versus Steve Erceg. So we'll see what they do with him. Great win by Alessandro Costa. Submitting Cody Durden is not easy. He has been KO'd a few times, but a submission win over Cody Durden is definitely impressive. So yeah, let me know what you all think. Really disappointed with the result of the main event, but a great fight card overall. Some great fights. Royval versus Kavanagh was a banger. Good KOs by King Green, Yanez, Ryan Gandra, Alessandro Costa. Good performances. Paddy, of course. But unfortunately, it got tainted by that main event. Let me know what you all think. I'll see you all soon. Peace.